Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Wendy O'Connor. Happy Thursday. So usually, if you watch my videos, you know that I talk about things that are on my mind, or weekly. Hi, Carrie. What's up? So you know that I talk about whatever's on my mind, or I talk about things like themes or patterns that I see with my clients, with friends, with family, social stuff. And then I think about giving you all solutions, what I know helps. So today, Thursday evening, actually, we are going to talk about fighting off burnout in work and in love. And I really want to talk about strategies so that you all can shift from feeling really unenergetic and not motivated to really jumping in life and really feeling more motivated and ambitious. Okay, so let's see. First of all, I want to talk a little bit about what the definition of personal and career burnout is. So with personal life, we're talking, hi Chi-Town, what's going on? So with personal burnout, we're talking about maybe your love life. We are talking about self-care, maybe the way that you care about grooming or putting yourself together, or maybe you just, well, today's not a good example because I'm just wearing my little casual stuff, but really just like not wanting to get out of bed, not wanting to brush your teeth or take a shower, those kind of things. And personal stuff can also be maybe family. The holidays are coming around the corner, so sometimes people feel really overwhelmed and angry. You're starting to get invitations in the mail for parties and things like that. So couples get burned out on each other or with themselves or with the other person. So we want to be mindful of that and then do something about it. How many parents talk about burnout with their kids or their teenagers or even young adults? That's another one. So those are just examples of personal burnout. And then there's, for sure, career burnout. And, a lot of people ask therapists, oh my gosh, how can you do that? It must be so exhausting. Aren't you tired? And for me personally, I absolutely love what I do. So if I'm doing my meaning, purpose, and passion in life, then that just fills my soul. So it's not work to me at all. I'm really grateful to be doing the work that I do, whether it's therapy or life coaching. So, but for a lot of people who do have burnout, and definitely I have experienced it in the past, and it's important to be mindful of it, observe it, and then get into a strategy and an action plan so that you can heal in that way and get back in the game with whatever your meaning, purpose, and passion can be. And if you don't know, that is okay. Don't be overwhelmed because this is all about relaxing and self-care. So career can look like your job. There's the difference between a job and a career. So that is, this funny little bit on YouTube. If you punch in Chris Rock and job career, he has a little funny skit about the difference between a job and a career. So you might want to check that out because it's really, really funny. But definitely there is a difference. Your interests, maybe you're just burnt out. You go rock climbing or go horseback riding all the time, or you go running and you're so bored of running, or you're just totally burnt out where you don't want to get up and exercise at all. There's social burnout. So again, that can be tied to personal burnout. Again, the holidays are coming up. There's office parties. There's pressure, so much pressure for my single friends, my single clients, my single, cousins. There's a lot of pressure if they feel burned out and they don't want to date, or they don't want to even put themselves out there because they're just exhausted, and it's just the same negative cycle, dreary, and, you know, just woe is me. And that's also, you know, when you start getting in the negative, cycle, you again, you know, sometimes people just don't even know that they're in that negative cycle. A lot of times a good friend will tell you, and they'll say, hey, what is up? You are doom and gloom. And yeah, so we want to be able to listen to our friends when they give us feedback. Not all the time, but just, you know, you might not agree. But it is important to stop and, like therapists say, like, take the temperature of your life and see how things are going. And I don't think enough people do that. And I also don't think that a lot of friends say, hey, you know what, you're not looking so good. Have you been to the doctor? Maybe you want to go to therapy. Do you want to just get a cup of coffee and talk? So again, it's important to identify what the problem is with burnout, and then get to a coping strategy and some skills or tools for you. Let's see, career. So it could be, oh my gosh, I don't even know my meaning, purpose, and passion. So I'm burned out and exhausted, even looking for things that, everybody else looks like they're in love, and everybody else looks like they've got a wonderful career. And I am just stuck in the old same cycle. And the same job, and the same guy I'm dating, or the same relationship I'm in. I'm having the same talk with my kids over and over again. So, you know, life does not have to be a hamster wheel, and, or what they say, sometimes they say Groundhog Day, right? It's the same thing over and over and over again. And we can feel it. We can feel when there's a heaviness. So sometimes you just kind of go, and then before you know it, a couple of years have passed and you're just in that old rut. So I want to help you get out of that rut and jumping into life with some excitement. So, you know, what does burnout look like? Burnout can look like lack of motivation. It can look like depression, anxiety. Could look like you're really exhausted. You can wake up tired. You cannot want to wake up sometimes and just stay in bed. You can sleep too much, or you can not get enough sleep and toss and turn and then really feel tired in the morning. So you can get exhausted. A burnout can also be isolating. That's really important that you make sure you're able to connect with other people. It's important. Often I will hear people say, I don't like people. And that's okay. That's, you know, that's your thing. That is totally okay. But if you are burnt out from isolating and sleeping and not feeling your best, then it's important to get out and connect with other people and figure out how to shift that energy. So I'm going to tell you a couple ways that you could feel better right now. And I mean right now. So one of the things that we want to be aware of is our eating and our sleeping patterns. I tell people it's important to eat healthily, and, I'm not a nutritionist, but I know for myself, if I eat as healthy as I can, then I feel so much better. And that doesn't mean that around the holiday times or other times, I don't allow myself to celebrate with delicious carbs or whatever, but I'm not hard on myself. I am coming from compassion and love, and, just make sure I kind of shift back into my game plan. Like a lot of sports, like a lot of athletes, they have a game plan for the game, right? For baseball, basketball, football, you have to have a game. You can't just say, I'm going to hold the ball and we'll just see what happens. I guess they do that, but usually they don't. They always have a plan and a backup plan and 3 more plans. So we want to plan. So we want to make sure that you're not sleeping too much or eating too much, not eating enough or not sleeping enough. Sleeping and eating patterns are really important. exercise. A lot of people, especially as they get a little bit older, kind of titrate off the exercise. It's so important to pick it back up and integrate something, whether it's walking or jogging. You know, walking, I have my beautiful rescue puppy, and I walk at least 5 times a day because I have to. Astro needs to be walked. And so it's wonderful because he just looks at me and he guilts me and he's like, come on, we have to go. And it's his basic needs, right? He has to eat, he has to sleep, he has to poop, whatever it is. So I want to be a good mommy to him, or, you know, a pet, whatever. What do you call it? I don't like to say owner. That's weird. I don't say that. I guess, I don't know. It's weird when do you say mommy? Pet mommy? I do. I don't know. It's an attachment thing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Hold on. I'm going to get him because he just woke up. Excuse me. Hi, Astro. Come here. Come here. Come here. Hi. Speaking of Astro. Okay. This is Astro, guys. And he is my little puppy. So, okay, so exercise. So exercise is important, but you don't have to, you know, like in the 80s or 90s, do jazzercise or aerobics. You just want to do something that is, you know, get your heart rate up a little bit and allows you to breathe. It's really important to breathe. Do you breathe, Astro? Astro, do you breathe? It's important to breathe. Do you know that? Do you know that? You got to breathe. Deep breathing. That's a nice mindfulness trick. I love you. I hope that you like that because I'm silly. Why do people talk like in a dog voice all the time? You know, I can't be like talking like, hi, how are you? I have to be like, you're so cute. Oh, you're so cute. I'm going to breathe one more time, okay? And that's it. So what else? We want to maybe try yoga. Yoga is great. You know what I want to try, you guys? I want to try goat yoga. Are you done, babe? Okay. And out. Okay. He did his little spotlight and he is out. So I want to try yoga, the goat yoga, except I don't know if I want a nasty, dirty, stanky goat on my back, because I think that's what they do. They help you stretch, and I don't know. And they do that with cats, and I heard they do it with, what do they do it with? There's another animal they do it with. But anyway, doesn't matter. You don't have to do goat yoga. I'm just thinking of other things that can challenge me and try new things. That's also a very important thing when you're burned out. You want to get out of that old cycle and shift into something new. Okay, so yoga is lovely. When I did yoga consistently, you guys, I felt the best ever physically. But one of the things about burnout is time management and not being able to really integrate your, you know, organize your day or your week. So it's important. You have to move heaven and earth to create certain things in your life. Like go shopping for healthy things. Make sure, I know it sounds silly, but like you have a good pillow, wonderful comforter, that your bedroom is feeling very peaceful and quiet and serene. Some people put lavender oil on their wrists or on their forehead, or peppermint. Sometimes they get a silk pillow sheet and pillowcase. That'd be a sheet. You can get silk sheets, I guess, but a pillowcase, and you can put some lavender on there. Aromatherapy is really important too for burnout. We want to get oxygen to the brain, and we want to get all of your healthy hormonal stuff flowing. So what else? We did mindfulness breathing. Take 10 slow, deep breaths. Maybe not 10. You could do maybe 5, 7. 10 feels like maybe you might get dizzy and pass out. We don't want you guys to pass out, that's for sure. We don't want you to do that. But we do want you to breathe. So you would be surprised how many people don't know how to breathe, and you go through your day not breathing. I feel better already. Okay, So walking is really important. There's so many self-care ideas that you can do, and you got to get creative. I know a person who felt burnt out, so she started doing jewelry just for fun. She would play some music and she would light some candles, and she made some beautiful jewelry. And when she did that, she made such beautiful things and made them so much that she started to sell them. And then she just started giving them away because that's how overwhelmed she was with life. And then she just created. She took something negative, the burnout, and she shifted it to positive, which is this beautiful jewelry that she made. What else? Let's see. Often the burnout will be from a long time ago. It will be from the past, maybe your history, negative things that woulda, coulda, and should have happened according to you, but that you just didn't forgive yourself about. So we want to think about, maybe you'll make a list, on our podcast, The Relationship Show with Dr. Wendy and Miss Jenny. It's on iTunes, by the way, Podbean, and Google Play. I think that's what it is. Anyway, The Relationship Show. We talk all the time about a dream journal, and I'm really big about making lists in your journal. And so maybe you want to make a list of the things you have not forgiven yourself about, or the regrets. In a 12-step program, they talk about resentments. So it's important to get it out of your head and into your journal. You really want to see what is on that list, and then we need to heal in that area. So that can be a therapist, a life coach, it can be your best friend, it can be, sometimes it's your family doctor. You want to get a good checkup too, because sometimes your blood levels will be, I was going to say wonky. I never use that word. I must have heard that somewhere recently. I don't know. So what else? So you want to get a good, workup from your doctor. Make sure all your hormonal balances are in check. And what else? A nutritionist is great to go see. Maybe they can put you on the right path to some healthier food that will help you feel energized and motivated. And, you want to make sure you can talk to someone that you trust. So if you don't trust anyone, that's also maybe something on your list that, you have trust issues. And trust issues often go hand in hand with intimacy issues. And so if you're stuck in certain relationships or even dating cycles, it's important to work all that out so we can move forward. So let's see, talk to someone. Groups are wonderful, and they're free. They're all over the place. Not necessarily you have to go to a 12-step group, but they are terrific. So if someone is feeling burnt out about money issues, again, the holiday time is coming, so people feel very overwhelmed. Oh my gosh, I have to buy 50 gifts for everyone. And you don't, by the way. If you're a gift family, that's wonderful, but please, people, don't go in debt because it looks good to give these gifts, because it's not really healthy or authentic for you. You're not really being honest. So, that's what some of these groups are about, like Debtors Anonymous. There's something called Under Earners Anonymous. So you want to be able to get some support. If you feel like you're taking on the world, you're taking on your mother's problem, your father's problem, your aunt's problem, your kids' problems, and you're just a sponge and you're absorbing it, then that is not healthy. So you might be codependent, or you might feel an enmeshment with all those people. A lot of times parents, often moms, but dads do it too, will vicariously live through their teenagers. Not that I know anything about that, maybe a little bit, but I have a 17-year-old, and you have to be mindful of boundaries and really understand that if you're swept away and you want to be a teenager a little bit, then maybe you need to take a look at yourself and get out some of those maybe unresolved teenage issues you had. Were you popular, or were you bullied? Were you picked on? Did you want to be included? You weren't included. So there's so many reasons why people feel burnt out. And a lot of times you just keep stuff in, but you have to get that energy flowing somehow, maybe swimming, and like I said, you know, other ways of exercising. So the most important thing is, again, to move heaven and earth to create time for self-care. And it can even be, you know, I'm thinking of Taoism and how one of the underlying aspects is just nature, connecting with nature. So that's a very Buddhist perspective. And nature really makes people feel good. It's like animals. When you pet animals, your serotonin and your hormonal levels feel so good and relaxed. And it helps your physiology, and you're able to decrease the anxiety and breathe and relax a little. And when you relax, you will start to be able to really think about meaning, purpose, and passion. And the focal point, whatever brings you joy, is meant for you to explore. So I hope this was helpful. Burnout is something really big, and if you haven't seen my last video on SAD, seasonal affective disorder, it's time for you to check that out too, because as we turn to fall and say goodbye to summer and ready to embrace this beautiful, well, Los Angeles always feels like summer actually, but I was born in Chicago, but raised here in Los Angeles. So, you know, we don't get a lot of seasons, but I will say, even if it slightly gets a little bit darker and a little bit more chilly or cold outside, or on stormy, rainy days, which like rarely happens, but it happens, I will have a lot of people struggling with SAD, seasonal affective disorder. And that can feel like burnout too. So however it is, if there's something going on with you and you are not flowing and you feel really flat and kind of like lifeless inside, go see someone and go check it out, because there are answers. Even if you say, no, I'm just going to be like this the rest of my life, no, you won't. And if anybody says that, then you need to have them call me, or you guys can call me. So my number is 310-712-1230. If I can't help you, I have associates that are fabulous. I have referrals, and my goal in life is to make people flow with happiness. I know it sounds really corny, but it's true. And I know what depression and anxiety is like. I know what family dysfunction is like, and I know how to also pull myself out of it. And now that brings me joy, is to teach people how to feel better in life. So I'm going to leave you with a quote. One of my favorite quotes is from Calvin Coolidge. I love this quote, and I am just paraphrasing. This is not the exact quote, but basically what Calvin Coolidge has said is, nothing in this world will take the place of persistence. Talent will not, genius will not, and education will not. Persistence and determination alone together are omnipotent. I love that quote. Persistence and determination. But if that's way too far for you and you just can't even say that word, persistent, determination, motivation, ambition, it's okay, because there are people to help you along the way. So I am Dr. Wendy O'Connor, and thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe. I have a YouTube channel, Dr. Wendy O'Connor, and I have a podcast and the relationship show with Dr. Wendy, and I also have an Instagram that I hope is very motivating for people. And yep, I am a life coach and a therapist, and I wish you all a great weekend if I don't check in tomorrow. Okay, have a wonderful evening and going into this beautiful weekend. Bye, guys. Astro, you want to say something? No, because he's sleeping. That's rude. That's okay. I'll let him, because I'm his mama. Bye.